Alright, fellow Slayers, time to take a look at the second episode of the day, which is Homecoming. The Scoobies decide to share a limo for their last homecoming dance. Scott hasn't asked Buffy, but after some prompting does ask her, so they join in the group plans. Buffy takes an early leave to bring blood to Angel, who is still very weak. She tells him she won't tell the others about him because he won't understand that he is better. She also tells him she is dating someone else. Scott breaks up with Buffy the next day because he finds her too distracted all the time now, which she admits is true. She promises to do better, but it's not enough. As she watches him walk away, two men watch her from a van. They are connected via a modem to Mr. Trick and an unnamed boss, who have video monitors set up in a mansion. Deputy Mayor Alan Finch enters the mayor's office. He reports that two German brothers who are major international terrorists have arrived in Sunnydale. The mayor, Richard Wilkins III, chides him for not cleaning his hands enough. Finch looks scared and promises to do better. At school, the gang sends Cordelia to tell Buffy that yearbook photos are being taken that day. Buffy's in the library training with Faith, who is expressing her view on guys. Buffy says to go to the prom with Faith, since she's already bought a ticket. Cordelia gets distracted at the library door by two guys whose votes for homecoming queen she wants. She leaves without giving Buffy the message. Buffy needs a recommendation from a teacher for her file for the principal's situation for her to re-enroll at school. She has a teacher who taught the class that changed my life, but is crushed when the teacher does not remember her. Buffy says that at Hemery, she was prom princess, fiesta queen, and on the cheerleading squad, but no one would remember her at Sunnydale High. She's bummed that her entire high school career will come down to a picture on 1/8 of a page, but Will and Xander tell her that even that won't be there, so she missed getting her picture taken for the yearbook. They tell her that Cordelia was supposed to give her the message. Buffy confronts Cordy, who couldn't care less because it's not about herself, and arranged Buffy says to run for homecoming queen against Cordy. Meanwhile, Mr. Trek has organized Slayerfest 98, a competition in which its participants, for a fee, get to hunt the two Slayers. Competitors include the twins Hans and Frederick Grustenhaller, working with an older man, the vampire couple Lila and Candy Gorge, a demon named Kulak of the Mequok clan, and a man named Frawley. Xander and Willow, who were trying on their former clothes in a room, admire each other's elegance. They then share a kiss, but break apart in guilt for cheating on Cordelia and Oz. The next day, Buffy is analyzing the homecoming queen competition with Oz, Xander, and Willow in the library. They all look very uncomfortable. It turns out that Xander is helping Cordelia since he is her boyfriend. Willow's already constructing Cordelia's database, and Oz goes along with Willow. As the evildoers are honing their skills for their upcoming hunt, the competition at Sunnydale High School is heating up as well. Ethics give way to bribery with sweets and money. Buffy gets 15 minutes on Cordelia's database after she guilt-tripped Willow into secretly helping her. Xander and Willow sit down to talk, so Willow talks about the homecoming queen competition and the tensions between Buffy and Cordelia, but Xander thinks she's talking about their kiss and mentions that he has a whole new set of feelings for Willow, but quickly shuts up when he realizes what Willow is really talking about. Willow assumes that the kiss upset the whole balance of the group dynamics, leading to them helping Cordy out of guilt, and that it's all led to the new hostility between Buffy and Cordelia. Willow is determined to do something to fix things. When the limo arrives at Buffy's house, she gets to discover not Faith, who was scheduled to be the first to be picked up, but rather Cordelia alone, holding a note from their friends saying they want her and Cordelia to make up on the expensive ride, so they'll be forced to spend some time alone together. Putting on the corsages that have been left for them, the two talk but make no progress. When the driver stops at their destination, they're surprised to discover not Sunnydale High, but a shack in some woods. Then the driver runs away. They've had a TV, VCR, and videotape, so they play it. Trick addresses them as Buffy and Faith and informs them of Slayerfest 98. Despite Cordelia's desperate attempts at getting someone to realize that she is not Faith, she and Buffy are both targeted by the competitors. Xander and Willow are moping at the dance. Even Justice's humor fails to cheer them up. Faith is livelier. She embarrasses Scott in front of his date by pretending to have gotten an STD from him. Meanwhile, Buffy catches one of her pursuers and forces details out of him. Cordelia, thinking she's going to die, tells Buffy she loves Xander. Buffy tells her she spent a year's allowance on the dress in an attempt to achieve one ideal moment in high school. For a moment, the two understand each other. The two fight off their adversaries and run to the school. Meanwhile, Trick is dragged away from the mansion by two policemen. Buffy and Cordelia make their way to the library, only to find Giles knocked out and the Gorge just waiting for them. During the fight, Candy says to thanks to a spatula that Cordelia acquired. Lyle is infuriated and is ready to kill the two, but Cordelia finally does something good with her taunting skills and scares Lyle away when Buffy and Giles are down, by exaggerating her badassery. Buffy realizes the corsages they got in the limo were electronic tracking devices. She puts the device to one of the German brothers, who, when fired upon by his brother, fires back, both killing each other. The policemen bring Trick to the office of Mayor Wilkins and tells Trick they need to control rebellious youth elements during this important year. Trick, knowing the mayor means business, agrees to team up with him. Bedraggled, Buffy and Cordelia arrive at the homecoming dance just as time for the announcement of Homecoming Queen, both believing the result to be more important than ever after all they've been through. Jeff announces that the vote was tied, so Buffy and Cordelia both smile at the idea of sharing the title, but it turns out the tie was between two other competitors, Michelle Blake and Holly Charleston. As the two winners make emotional speeches, Buffy and Cordelia walk out united in their disgust. Nice. So let's take a look at some continuity surrounding this episode. Buffy informs Angel that she hasn't told anyone about his return yet, which she'll discover in her revelations. He returned from a cloudless dimension in Faith, Hope, and Trick, and Buffy first saw him in Beauty and the Beast. Lyle Gorge returns after his appearance with his brother Hector Gorge in Bad Eggs. Xander and Willow begin to explore their mutual attraction, a secret that will go on until lovers walk. Willow's feelings towards Xander have previously been shown during the first season, but their mutual attraction was alluded to when the two almost kissed and when she was bad. Years later, while preparing themselves for Xander's wedding in Hell's Bells, Willow would joke about them both being formal wear again, in reference to the moment when they kissed in this episode. Buffy's list of Cordelia's weaknesses includes Bree. In the episode Dead Man's Party, both Cordelia and Xander expressed a dislike for Brie cheese. Buffy and Willow talk about the potential homecoming voters that came to her welcome home party in Dead Man's Party. Cordelia is endangered by being mistakenly tracked as a slayer, as she had been in What's My Line Part 1 by Norman Pfister. Buffy and Cordelia are stuck together in a dangerous situation for the third time after the episodes Out of Mind, Out of Sight and Reptile Boy. Buffy's wish for a perfect moment in high school will be granted in the prom. Scott breaks up with Buffy, the relationship having begun in the episode Faith, Hope, and Trick. This marks his final appearance, to be mentioned again in Conversations with Dead People. The season's big bad, Mayor Wilkins, makes his first appearance. He says it's an important year for him, foreshadowing his plans for Graduation Day Part 2. When Mayor Wilkins is talking to Mr. Trick, he says, "The children are our future. We need them. I need them," which could be a reference to the next episode, Band Candy, in which Trick is tasked to distract Sunnydale's adults in order to take the newborn babies as tribute for Lurkonis. Sorry, some of these names are sometimes difficult for me to pronounce. So anyway, let's take a look at some production notes around this episode. Sarah Michelle Gellar broke a bone in her hand while filming this episode. The bandage covering her left hand is visible under her sleeve in the scene when Buffy discusses her opponents at the library. Buffy has the name Robert Price listed in her notebook as a reference to R.D. Price. Cynthia Bergstrom designed Buffy's and Cordelia's party dresses, respectively inspired by an Isaac Mizrahi design Gellar had in mind and a dress Reed Hayworth wore in the film Gilda. The diegetic audio from the last scene continues for a brief moment into closing credits, a technique also used in the episodes I, Robot Eugene, Lie to Me, Helpless, Pangs, Doomed, Out of My Mind, amongst others. And finally, let's take a look at some pop culture references. Buffy tells Miss Rand that her class on contemporary American heroes, from Amelia Earhart to Maya Angelou, changed her life. Cordelia tells a group of students about her doing the Vulcan Death Grip, a technique from the Star Trek franchise. Cordelia says that Xander kind of grows on you like a chia pet, in reference to the pods in the shape of various animals which are used to grow plants. Cordelia calls Buffy a guacamole queen, a reference to the 1975 song Inca Roads by Frank Zappa. Oz declares, "As Willow goes, so goes my nation." This comes from a political adage, "As man goes, so goes the nation," describing Maine's reputation as a bellwether state for presidential elections. The old man refers to Frawley as Daniel Boone, a reference to the American Explorer, also portraying the action-adventure TV series of the same name. So overall, I think this episode is pretty good, and yeah, while it is kind of a bummer that Buffy and Scott broke up, I definitely think it was for the best, so yeah. So overall, I give Homecoming 4 vampire steaks out of 5. But anyway, tune in a bit as we take a look at the final episode of the day, Band Candy. So, until then, here endeth the lesson.